everybody, and welcome to the Slasher Club, where there is no measure to terror and entertainment. Tonight, we will be doing Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, a 1990 film, and Derek will be giving you the synopsis in 3, 2, 1.
Basically, what we have for the synopsis is a repeat of the last two movies. Leatherface, it finds a few people to kill, he kills a few of them, he eats some of them, and he goes on a rampage until they eventually beat him.
Where in this film we've got a survival guy, a couple, and an earlier victim who ends up surviving for a whole week. And then we've got more characters, which I will get to their names in a few moments, but on to the facts. It was directed by Jeff Burr, produced by Robert Eggleman, written by David J. Shaw, music by Jim Manzi and Pat Regan, cinematography by James L. Carter, and the locations are Indian Dunes, 28700, Henry Mayo Drive, Valencia, California, also known as The Woods, as they're happily named. We are going back to Sable Ranch, which I believe was a part of Motel House, 25933 Land Canyon Road, Santa Carlita, California, Sawyer House. And then we've got 131 Street. Sadly, it's not 134th Street. East and Fort Teagan Road, Last Chance gas station. And on to the characters. We have our main final girl, Kate Hodge as Michelle. We have William Butler as Ryan, our wimpy, somewhat boyfriend or husband. We have Ken Forey as Benny, the survival guide. Tom Hudson plays Sarah, the somewhat survival nut that ends up dying later on after her family dies. We have Joe Unger as the first of the Sawyer family, Tink Sawyer, who seems somewhat weird. Very weird, actually. We've got R.A. Mahaloff as Leatherface. We'll again explain why we don't have Gunnar Hansen later on. We have Tom Everett as Alfredo Sawyer, the very fucking awkward, I guess, go do what you're told younger son or oldest son of the Sawyer family, who owns the gas station and peeps on girls. We have Jennifer Banco as Little Girl Sawyer, or as I like to call her, the creepiest fucking girl in the world compared to the Shining girls. We have Beth DiPatti as Gina. We have Dooney Whittaker as Kim. Miriam Bird Netherly as Mama, also known as Ann Sawyer. We have Carlin Williams as Reporter. And that's it. On to the slasher stats.
I counted a total of 6 kills in this movie, which is a new record for this franchise so far. One being the woman in the beginning of the show, of the movie, having her head beat in with a hammer. 2 being the stranded girl who saves Benny, who ends up getting sawed up. 3 being Ryan getting sawed up and eventually skinned. 4 is Mama getting shot. 5 is Tex getting burned alive. And 6 is who I like to call creepy gas station guy getting shot.
Actually, you missed something. Ryan actually also gets beaten in the head with an awkwardly looking hammer.
Yeah, I tried rewinding to see that, but I must have missed it.
Nah, you didn't really miss it. It was an off-screen kill, I guess you could say. But also, you missed Mama getting killed, and then... Tinker getting his ear and hand, or fingers, shot off, and bleeding to death.
He bled to death?
He did.
I thought he was still alive.
And Leatherface dies as well due to head injury and drowning.
Doesn't he show up right at the end of the movie, though?
Oh, good point. Hey, at least I'm just glad in this movie we didn't get that awkward chainsaw dance like we got in the first 2. But, on to the favorite kill.
Would you like to go first?
Of course. For me, it was Leatherface drowns after being bludgeoned by a rock. I mean... it's Leatherface. It's fucking amazing, but... yeah, I admit... it's not that good, but for me... we actually get to see him get bludgeoned, unlike Ryan getting hit with a hammer, or, the reporter dying. But to be clear, I didn't figure out my most favorite kill until after watching the movie, and turns out it was actually Tex getting burned alive after all those awkward moments with him. I mean, I actually thought he was a good guy, and then just dumb fuck decides to spill, I think, gasoline all over himself, and then boom, and the guy blows up. I mean, I'm not really one for the blow-up kills, but I actually enjoyed it. What about you?
My favorite kill has got to be creepy gas station guy getting shot.
Oh.
I found it actually pretty funny because he was a funny character overall, and I actually thought he had drowned halfway through the movie when Benny bludgeoned him in the head and forced him into the water.
Most of us did, honestly.
So when I saw him just before he got shot, the jokes he was cracking with Michelle, I found it so hilarious that it was such a memorable scene for me. So I gotta give the favorite kill to that one.
Interesting. And on to least favorite kill, which is Sally dies of natural cause. I mean, you hear this in the beginning intro, where Sally dies of natural causes, like a heart attack in a specialized hospital, and then we learn about EW getting electrocuted, but that was just such a fucking cheap way to kill off one of the main characters from the original movie that we've heard about from 1, 2, and now here we are. We learn about her, but we learn she dies of natural causes in a horror slasher movie. That's not how you kill off your first final girl. What about you?
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one, because I didn't even notice that actually counted as a kill in the movie, considering it would have technically been a kill just before the second movie.
I mean,
or since it was a natural death, could we technically count it as a kill?
I guess so, but I just feel it doesn't deserve it because it's not really a kill, it's just natural. It doesn't belong in a slasher movie. And that's like saying, oh wait, they did do this. Oh, Laurie died before part 4 of Halloween in a car crash and we'll never hear from her again. Basically the exact same thing. And yeah, I liked Halloween 4, but that was a terrible way to get rid of... That was a terrible way to get rid of Laurie altogether.
Basically, it's their way of getting rid of an original character who has spent too much screen time or memorable moments in a franchise.
Which is the dumbest thing. I mean, at least give her an honorable kill. I mean, even Friday the 13th did it pretty fucking well. They killed off Alice from the first movie and the second movie by giving her an ice pick to the head. I'd rather see something like that for Sally, than just to put this in at the beginning. Just put this in at the beginning. She just died of natural causes and you'll never hear from her again. End of story.
I actually found it kind of sad.
I mean, yeah, it's sad, but that's the worst thing you could do with a main character. But, get off this topic, on to the facts. Box office of $5.7 million. New Line made this their first film after buying the series from Canon Studio. Huge critical and commercial failure. Second film Gunnar Hansen refused to be a part of due to low pay. Damn, it must be very cheap to get a part in this movie, and wow. There wasn't anything else. Because the info on this movie doesn't really matter because a lot of people hated it. But to those people, I have to disagree. By today's standards, I actually found this to be one of the more interesting and actually worth watching movie. And I know this is probably a very controversial opinion because everyone likes the first movie, and as soon as that goes out, you'll understand. But then there's the second movie I completely hate, my mother hates, and we just don't like Chop Top at all. He's just such a terrible character and so fucking annoying. And yeah, we didn't get a chainsaw fight in this movie like we did the second one, which to me was the only good part about that one. But here, we actually wanted Ben and the final girl to live. I mean, screw Ryan, I didn't really care if he lived or died. He was just there to be the boyfriend, or the beginning where the girl's family dies and then we see her in the woods. I don't really feel that was needed, but other than those two parts, I actually enjoyed this movie. I found it funny as hell. I mean, go on.
I found this movie the most entertaining of the three. It was the most fun for me to watch and take notes on and actually enjoy while I was experiencing this film. The first one was so boring, I actually found myself trying to stay awake watching it. And the second one, it was entertaining, but that one got to a point where it was just boring due to how few kills it had. But this one actually takes the cake as the most kills and the most entertaining of all the three movies.
Right, and honestly, I don't see why people don't like it. I mean, I guess it might be because they like the slow moments in the first movie, like the dinner scene, or they enjoy the jokey, dark comic version in part 2, but here, I'm kind of glad they went back to the old method of just going through the slasher movie and not really caring about the dark comedy. And actually, huge part of my opinion is how fucking awesome was that golden chainsaw?
I loved it.
I mean, first time actually, no, I'm kind of wrong because Jason got that bionic, badass, futuristic, machete for for the 10th movie, but here we've got a fucking golden chainsaw engraved with the Saw is family, which is well known as being first said in part 2, which, again, it has its good points, but here, it worked off those good points, and made a great movie. I'm actually surprised from New Line Cinema.
I think some people dislike this movie simply because the family in this movie kind of has nothing to do with the first two movies.
And technically the rest of the movies, because we never see the little girl again. We never see Alfredo. We never see any of these Sawyer clans, because the next movie just focuses on Leatherface and his hunt for another girl.
Oh, poor Leatherface.
But seriously, I kind of don't care that this movie is kind of one on its own. It's a good movie. I mean, I still haven't seen any of the other movies, but so far, this is my favorite.
If I had to rank this one, I'd give it an 8. I'd say it's my favorite movie out of the three so far.
Honestly, I'd give it a 9.
I'd give it an 8. And I'd like to add something to this.
Go ahead.
Who is your most memorable character in the movie?
For that, I'd have to say Tex, honestly. I mean, yeah, Leatherface is a huge part of this movie. He's one of the major baddies of the 80s and 70s and 90s, but Tex, he's everywhere in this movie. I mean, at the beginning, yeah, we see him get shot, or we assume he gets shot by Alfredo, and he's supposed to be he gets you to think that he's the good guy trying to explain to them, oh, don't take the highway, this is a quicker route. But then, when you see him he gets run over, or throws something at the couple's car, and then we go on to the dinner scene, and you just find out how this handsome looking Sawyer child, not as deformed or nuts as the other characters, turns out to be the most evil daring character compared to Leatherface, Mama, Alfredo, Tank, and Little Girl. But I'd have to do a second one for this, which, next to Tex, it would have to be Little Girl. I mean, yeah, she was only on the screen for not that long, but first time we see her and she leads Michelle up to her room, you just finally get a look at the doll that she's carrying, and it's a human fucking child, or a human skull, and then that evil laugh she gains right in that scene as she attacks Michelle. And then we get the view of her room, and it's just filled with multiple dead bodies or skeletons. It's just terrifying to know that a girl is that scary, and that's why I called her the better scary girl than the girls from The Shining. I mean, yeah, the girls from The Shining are creepy as fuck, but this one, you don't know what the fuck she's gonna do. You don't know if she's gonna kill you if she finds you. You don't know if she's gonna turn you into one of the dolls in the room. It's just, she's so fucking unpredictable, and that's what I like about these two. They're unpredictable. They get you to think they're so innocent and the good guys, and then they just completely turn. And that just gets me way more scared of them than any other character in this movie. And
I'd
you?
have to say the most memorable character for me would be creepy gas station guy.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry, but I just found his humor hilarious. His sexual antics, his wacky behavior, his vulgarity, and his jokes. Perfect timing during every moment. My favorite joke from him was when he was at point blank range of the shotgun, and he says this line. So I guess this cancels our date for dinner this Saturday. I just found him such a humorous and hilarious character. That's why I find him one of the most memorable in this movie.
Interesting. So yeah, I guess that wraps this up. Check back with us next week for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Next Generation, also known as the fourth movie or standalone movie of its own in the series. And then in the same week, we will be doing a German celebration of a well-known creature in our heritage, because we're both German. Krampus. A story of the most terrifying, evil demon in Christmas history. So stay tuned.
Santa brings you presents, Krampus takes your life.
Or just brings you to hell, or whips the shit out of you. So yeah, don't forget to check us out. Check out the rest of our videos on our page. We post a lot on Facebook and on Instagram, so check out. You can also find our videos on there. And just don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your opinions on this video, or your opinions on Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3. And just stay tuned for next week's special. And any final words, Derek?
Careful when you play with your toys tonight.
Because they might just be real. Good night. Goodbye, and have a terrifying night. And